Hey guys, it's Alexis.
And it's Barbara.
For today's Heart to Heart, we're going to talk about gap years and why you should definitely take one. In case you didn't already know, both Barbara and I took gap years after graduating from high school. We were lucky enough to have each other during this experience, and we've had a great time overall. So we want to give our thoughts and our advice to those of you who might want to take a gap year. We know from personal experience that gap years don't always get the best rep, and people can be pretty judgmental when you say that you're taking one. So that's where we come in.
So there's this stigma around taking gap years that by taking one it means that you weren't smart enough, but that's not true. Taking a gap year doesn't diminish your intelligence or how smart you are. I took a gap year because I definitely needed to give myself some TLC, and for sure, if I did go straight into another hectic school system, I would have gone crazy. And by doing that, I got to realize what I was really passionate about and what I really loved and the people who were there for me and will always be there for me. And it just helped me out overall as who I am as a person.
So let's talk about some of the ways that a gap year can be really good for you. Number one, it's time to relax. A gap year is a great way to give yourself some time off. Your mental and physical health are just as, if not more important than these grades that you're getting. If you feel like you need a break, try talking to your parents about taking a year off to figure out your options. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said I was productive during my entire gap year. Honestly, I'm one of the biggest binge watchers, TV junkies there are out there, and the fact is that I've definitely surpassed the normal amount of YouTube videos a human being should watch in a day. But like I said, gap years give you much deserved time off after 12 years of education. Not all of us want to follow the traditional route of going to college straight out of high school, and that's perfectly fine. Personally, taking a gap year reaffirmed my desire to go to college. Now I don't see college as just something that I've been told I have to do. I want to go to college because I want to learn more about the career I want to do for the rest of my life. And college parties seem really fun.
Also know that there is absolutely no pressure whatsoever to do something amazing or out of this world during your gap year. Take as much time as you want. It's okay. And if your classmates make a fuss out of it, you know what? Who cares? Keep in mind that they're the ones studying for tests and cramming for all of their classes while you're at home at 3 a.m. watching cat videos of cats meowing the word no. So, who's the real winner here? I think we all know. And it's not them. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not done. I'm not done yet. And if you still feel really unproductive, don't worry, because you could always go back to college whenever you're done. Like, ding! Get you out there.
Gap years can be a good way for you to get to know yourself. If you're like us, the majority of our high school class graduated and moved on, and we were left behind. All the alone time can allow you to reflect on what you want to be in life and how you're going to get there. You can focus on honing your skills at whatever your passion may be. You can direct your energy into living a healthier lifestyle. You can even do that whole self-exploration journey thing and figure out why you're on this planet. A gap year can reveal what's truly important to you. If you don't know what you want to take in college, you can take this time to figure out what you're really passionate about and figure out what you're talented at. Even I, a girl who loves her social media and spends a lot of time on it, wanted something more after months of doing absolutely nothing. Now I can honestly say that I know where I want to be in life. Now, if you're like me and you didn't put much thought into what you were going to do during your gap year, there will come a time when you actually start to miss being productive. I know it sounds crazy, but it happens to all of us. One great thing to do is to get involved with activities that will help you gain experience. Like, for example, if you want to be a drama major, you should take acting workshops. If you're into fashion and writing, look into interning for a magazine. Search online, talk to people, use and find connections. For example, Barbara and I both love acting, so we took a 2-month acting workshop, and I can honestly say it was one of the best experiences we've ever had. We've made friends that we know will last a lifetime, and we learned a lot in the process of all that. If you're the type of person who gets pretty anxious in new situations, like new people, I urge you to take that risk and put yourself out there. I can guarantee you won't regret it, you will gain experience, and you can have a lot of fun at the same time.
Now, getting to the harder issues, let's talk about family expectations. So regardless of whether you think that your family is pretty strict or is pretty lenient in what you want to do, one thing that they all seem to have in common is that they would prefer if you went to college right after high school. And for me, in my personal experience, that pressure, along with 10 billion other pressures of being a teenager in this day and age, can lead up to you feeling really lost and really overwhelmed, and you just have no idea what to do with your life. I'm here to tell you that when you do approach your parents about going on a gap year, remember to hear their story. Don't immediately shut them down when they say no at first, because whether you believe it or not, they do have your best interests at heart. Remember, talking is good for the soul. Don't keep all of these emotions and opinions all bottled up, because it will eat you inside and you will feel terrible. Also remember that your side of the story is important too. You should always tell your parents why you think taking gap year, in your opinion, would be an amazing idea and how it would benefit you and what you want to do with your life in the long run. Remember that looking for that shoulder to lean on is really important, and whether that's with a parent, a sibling, a teacher, or a psychiatrist, you will feel amazing being able to talk to someone about your problems. Trust me, it feels amazing.
So going off of what Barbara said about talking to your parents, it is very important. So approaching them with an explanation, a plan, and an open mind should help you out a lot. Almost all my friends who are in college wish that they would have taken gap years. Speak sincerely and just let your parents know what you think. If you believe a gap year will help you become who you want to be in the long run, tell them that. Let's say your parents are on board. That's good. That's really good. And yes, you might have to deal with other relatives who aren't as supportive, but it's important to remember that you're the one who's going to deal with the consequences, good or bad. You're the one who's paying to further your education. You know yourself, and if a gap year is going to bring you closer to succeeding, then it must be a good decision. This goes hand in hand with your classmates looking at you and thinking, they're not in college? What are they doing with their life? What you think is what matters. Your personal happiness is what matters. Their thoughts and opinions don't matter unless you make them. You know what you're doing, and as long as you're keeping yourself healthy and happy and maybe even being productive in the meantime, you're all good. And honestly, if they're so concerned about what you're doing with your life, that says a lot about how interesting their lives are. Just saying.
Going off of what Alexis said, if those classmates who talk about you not going to college, if they were never a good influence on you in school, I say cut them out. There is no rule about you having to stay in touch with your classmates. It's okay to grow apart. I mean, it's called life. Gap years are meant to be about you. So don't waste your time dwelling over other people's opinions about you not going to college, because you know what? They're not important. What's important is that you take this time to figure what you want to do with your life. Talking about losing touch with friends, know that it's okay. Know that it's not a bad thing when you realize that one day you're not keeping in touch with people that you sat with at lunch or the people that you walked with to biology class. People come and go in life, and it is completely normal. And as long as you're not extremely bothered by it, you're gonna be okay. For me, after I graduated high school and I took my gap year, I became more aware of all the little things that made me who I am. I also became aware of the big things, like my passions and my dreams and my goals. And when it comes to choosing friends, I think it's just important to know that I'm at this point in my life where I want to be surrounded by the people who share the same goals or aspirations, or we just have that certain click or connection. And it doesn't mean that you're saying goodbye to your high school friends forever. I mean, there's always Facebook. It's just closing one door, high school, and opening another, your gap year, and seeing who you can take with you. Now moving on, for those of you whose gap years are closing or have come to an end and are deciding to apply to college, one question that you will most likely get is what you did during your gap year that might have broadened your academic horizons or something like that. And for some of you, that will be really easy to answer. Maybe you guys did an internship during your gap year, or you traveled and you got to make all of these amazing and new experiences and memories. But for some who took their gap year simply just to chill and relax, this question can kind of scare you. And speaking from experience, I freaked out and I kind of got disheartened because I thought, how could you possibly get accepted into college when all you really did in your gap year was watch movies and binge watch TV shows and chill? And I say, even though you think you're not doing anything because you're just lying around on your couch eating chips all day, you are. Because by taking this gap year, this entire year to yourself to just relax and just unburden yourself from all the pressures that you had while you were in high school, you're getting to know yourself again and getting to know who you are and who you want to be in the future. And I think knowing who you are a little bit more as a young adult in the 21st century is gonna help you in the long run, because in college you're not gonna have your parents with you to help you. It's all you. So good job. And then for those of you who think that going straight into university is really daunting, that's okay, because you can always take online classes and ease your way back into the academic routine. You can take as much time as you need. And if you want to reach your #1 school but you feel like your grades in high school were a little bit, well, you can always go to a junior college, a community college, and ace your classes there and work your way up towards your dreams. They're kind of like a second start, and it's pretty amazing. You should use it.
In conclusion, gap years aren't so bad. They're what you make it. Some people take more than just a year to get to college. You're young. Live your freaking life. You can get work done and still have a good time. What you need to focus on is you. This is your future. You're in charge. You choose what happens. Even when life throws you a completely unexpected spin, you get to decide what happens after that. And you're gonna be okay.
Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to tell us what you thought of this video in the comments below. We'd also love to hear your suggestions for future videos. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more from us. And if you liked the video, give this a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a thumbs up.
So until next time, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Barbara.
And remember, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster, a real gangster.